do we owe allegiance to? Is it to God? Is it to the country? Is it to our family? Is it to ourselves? Is it to science? Maybe it's to money or wealth. Maybe it's to the law. For some people, we choose all of these and we might put them all in sort of opposition. Oh, well, I owe allegiance to my family, and if that's going to create a conflict with everybody else, well, that's just the way it is. You've got some who say, oh, well, I owe allegiance to science. I'm so much a science person, and I hear this sometimes from people who say to me, oh, I can't be a person of faith because I'm a science person. And I think that these sort of distinctions aren't really that helpful. We shouldn't be looking to put one in opposition of another. And this is sort of what's going on in the gospel today. The Jewish people the Pharisees are trying to put Jesus into a trap. Almost saying, okay, well, who are we meant to have allegiance to? Should we pay our taxes to the Roman Empire or shouldn't we? Jewish law said that they shouldn't be worshipping anybody else. And the taxes of the Roman Empire basically said that everybody owed something to the emperor, and that everyone became the subjects or under the control of the emperor. And this was a very difficult issue for the Jewish people. And they're trying to trap Jesus in this. And Jesus says, give me a coin. And on the coin, you've got Caesar's head. And then on the other side there is a statement about who Caesar is. The Romans understood that Caesar was the Son of God. Now, that's a title that we know well. We often refer to Jesus as the Son of God. But that was one of the titles of the emperor. The emperor was seen like a god. And for the Jewish people to even have Roman money, it was sort of almost this idea that they're worshipping something that's not of God. Who do we owe our allegiance to? I'm someone who loves science. I love law. I love the economy. I love my faith. And I love my family, my nation, and I love my God. And I think the prophet Isaiah gives us an insight into all of this in this first reading today. Everything has a place. We shouldn't put one in opposition of the other, but over everything is God. Science and faith shouldn't be in opposition. Science helps us to come to a deeper understanding of the realities of existence and the possibility of God, and perhaps some of the reasons even to recognize there is God and worship. The economy helps us to realize that we need to plan. We need to be good stewards of the resources that we have, and that when we have resources, we should put them not for our individual, only just for our own individual care. We should be doing what we can to assist others in other parts of the world. The law is not there to bind us, to control us, but to help us to be the very best we can. So who do we owe allegiance to? We shouldn't be putting ourselves in opposition to say, well, I'm a person of faith and the state, well, I don't like the state, so we're going to have this war head-to-head between us. And I think from a faith perspective, we understand this. From some of the other perspectives, sometimes that's not always clear. Sometimes there are scientists out there who say, well, science, this is the only reason, the only way we can make choices in life. And that creates opposition with people of faith. Sometimes people say, well, the economy, that's the only way we make decisions as well. Render to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. What belongs to science, or what belongs to the economy, what belongs to the legal system, we should respect. Absolutely. What belongs to the nation. But in each of those areas, they shouldn't be overstepping in areas that are not of science, that are not of the economy, that are not of the legal system. I think that's what Jesus is getting at here. There's lots has been written about this passage, but I think there's a little bit in it for us today. Who do we owe allegiance to? Ultimately, we owe allegiance to God, but that doesn't mean we throw everything else out. All of those other things shouldn't be taken in isolation. We shouldn't just say science or the economy or all those other things are the only way that we make decisions in life. They all should lead to each other and ultimately lead, as the prophet Isaiah says, to an understanding that God has created everything and that God is desiring the perfection of everything.